Hello everyone, my name is David. Thank you for joining me today. This is my weekly question and answer video. Thank you for tuning in and welcome new people. People who are here new and don't know what this is. This is a weekly question and answer video I publish every single Monday. I'm answering questions today from the last video last Monday. If you have a question, go down below into the comment section. Please ask me anything you want and I'm going to answer your question in the next Q&A video next Monday. I'm trying to help people heal and recover and grow from different kinds of trauma, and the best way to do this is to learn, to talk, to share, and to understand. So if I can help you do that, please keep asking questions, okay? Thank you. If you guys think that I'm helping you or could help somebody else, you can help me. What I'm doing by supporting this is in subscribing to my channel down below. You can vote on this video up or down, comment down there and tell me why, and tell me your locations, where you're from. You can share this video and send it to people, and you can put it in a playlist on your own channel. I really appreciate all of your guys' support for that. Thank you very much. Something I recommend every once in a while is called Shane's Law Petition. Shane, unfortunately, was a victim of a very long narcissistic smear campaign. It was very intrusive in all parts of his life, and back then, just like similar today, there's not much help for people with this. And it is an awful, awful experience for those of you who have never experienced that. Good, I hope you don't. But please try to understand what this can do to your life and what this does to society. Not just because I've been a victim of it, but I've watched so many people being victimized of this, and it's really, really degrading society, especially with the internet on the rise. If you guys want to support something like this, or let me tell you what it is first. Shane, like I said, was a victim of a smear campaign, and sadly he took his own life. He committed suicide, something very common that people do under these kinds of attacks. And somebody that knows Shane didn't let him die in vain, trying not to, and they started a petition to start laws, to make up laws to stop this kind of social attack. And if you guys could be so kind to just follow the link down below in the description box, you'll see Shane's Law Petition. Touch it, it'll take you to the site, and just say yes. That easy. You could be saving lives from this. Thank you very much. Something I do every week is recommend something to help you guys heal from different kinds of trauma. This week I'm recommending a hormone. I've recommended hormones before. When we're talking about emotional trauma, we're talking about lots of emotions, and what happens in these dependent types of traumatic relationships is we're really talking a lot about hormones. I talk a lot about this in different videos I have. If you guys are interested, you can look at my playlist called cptsd, Healing cptsd. Lots of videos in there that might give you some information about what you're experiencing and how to help. But something I tried to get you guys to understand, that a lot of this is hormonal, and love makes all of our happy hormones go crazy, and especially for people like us, even more so, okay? And if you guys can replace some of these hormones now that the relationship's over and we're depressed and we're drained and don't have these hormones naturally right now, there are some that you can take to help raise these levels of hormones and help with the wanting the person back and ruminating and anxieties and depression, okay? I believe this is another one. So this is something that's secreted when we're falling in love with people. There's different stages. And this is something that probably played a part in the relationship that you had, in the intimate, romantic, loving relationship, that you guys experienced. And now that this relationship is over, you're probably depleted in a bunch of these feel-good hormones, and that's why you're feeling so bad. Among others that I've recommended, this is one called vasopressin. So vasopressin is a pituitary hormone, which acts to promote the retention of water by the kidneys and increase blood pressure. There's a lot of other things it does too, though. And I want to tell you just a little bit about a product I found called vasopressin nasal spray. And this is what this company wrote here about it. The ability to form and retain short and long-term memories, recall facts, and articulate thoughts quickly can be honed with the smart drug vasopressin. Acting on the hypothalamus, the part of our brain that's responsible for imprinting information, vasopressin nasal spray gives us the necessary power to keep up with the mental demands of life. Whether we need to remember facts and figures when studying or at work, or names, faces, and events when the socializing. The action of this vasopressin supplement is to provide more of the useful peptide hormone that's involved in forming and retaining memories. A timely spray of vasopressin can also charge our attention span, providing a grip on important details brought up in long conversations or when reading for extended amounts of time. This means we can stay focused and ignore distractions, leaving lasting memories that can be recalled precisely when required. So, a horrible symptom of trauma, PTSD, cptsd, which I know a lot of you guys watching are suffering from this, is our attention span, our memory, our focus, right? Extremely affected. Not only is it affected and can be very poor, but it's very frustrating, isn't it? It's very frustrating, and it can even cause shame and self-doubt, things like this. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. So this is something that can help with this, okay? So I'm just suggesting this to you guys. By all means, look into it before you take it. And consult your doctor. But this is an over-counter thing here. And I'm going to put a link in the description box down below if anybody's interested in looking this up and purchasing it. And like I said, do your own homework. I'm trying to find things that really can help you guys heal and really gain traction in this. Years ago when I discovered I had cptsd, it was deemed incurable. If you Google it, it might say the same thing still today. And it's not true. I've healed myself and I've healed many others. And this is a very, very important part of this healing, is understanding what your hormones are doing and try to get these hormones up yourself naturally. And a good way to begin doing that is giving yourself some. Okay, that helps our receptors, and hopefully it's a continuation, and that we can start doing this ourselves. And hopefully it'll get us out of this emotional hole you might find yourself in, okay? So, like I said, I'll put the description down below. Anybody that knows anything about this, please tell me what you think. And anybody who tries it, let me know what you think, okay? Thank you very much. I've got, I found a website that sells the nasal spray, 5 milliliter liquid, 500 IU bottle on sale for $49.99. Not cheap, I know. But anything usually hormonal is not cheap. Other things I recommended is oxytocin nasal spray and serotonin booster, 5-HTP. Okay, these are the kind of things that will help raise your hormones and really help you guys, like I said, from not wanting your ex back so much and ruminating and anxiety and depression. A lot of these can help you sleep better, help with pain, a lot of what you guys are suffering from right now, okay? Thank you. That's it. I'm done with the suggestion. Let's get on with the questions. One thing I want to ask you guys, please tell us your locations. I say it a lot, and I try to ask you guys to do this, and I'd really appreciate it if you guys could. It's a really nice way for all of us to feel a little bit more together. I think it's a little bit more validating and things like this for people who are suffering all over the world, okay? Another thing I would really appreciate you guys is give me some feedback when I answer your questions. I'll get questions in the comment section and I'll reply to them, and most of the time I don't hear back from you. You don't say anything, and then I answer your question in the video and I don't hear from you ever again. It'd be great to have some feedback and let me know what you think. If my answer makes sense, if you can understand it, tell me if you don't. Tell me if I didn't understand your question. Okay, I want to know these things. I'm really trying to help you guys understand and learn this stuff, and we got to have some kind of open dialogue. So let me know what you think about my answer and if you understand, and just keep asking questions, okay? Thank you very much, guys. And location. This is something somebody wrote, The Secret Tragedy Clothing Company, Lewis. And I just wanted to read it because it's nice. When you're at the bottom, all you can do is look around. There isn't anything down there, and your only choice is to lift your head up. You can see the way out. You survive the fall. You're not lost. You're not dead. You know when you are. You know where you are and how you got there. Hopefully, that's a part of healing, learning how you got there. You know where the light is, so it's time to start climbing. Don't get comfortable down there. It's not where you belong. I love that. Don't wait for a rope. The sun is waiting for you. Good luck to good people. United Kingdom survivor. I had 4 narcs in my pond at the same time. I drained the pond and was left with one. That one isn't good, out of water, with no places to hide. It's no longer a threat. The fear of the unknown danger is worse than the reality. Lay them out to shrivel in the sun. Thank you for that. I really like that. Thank you. All right. I think this is a question from C in Colorado. Hello. David, thank you so much for answering my comment question. You just don't know how much your answer helped me tonight. Tonight I was crying, angry, and feeling so bad over his moving on as I sit here alone doing everything I can to deal with my emotions and heal. That is healthier than moving on to a new person. That's what you mean, right? That's what everybody means. And man, I can't drill this enough. I've made so many videos about this. And we don't just move on by dating someone else. I heard a woman to say one time, the best way to get over a guy is get under a new one. No, that's not. That's the sickest way. That's the sickest way. And you're just going to keep getting underneath the same kind of guy until you stop doing that. Okay? Worst advice, some of the worst advice I've ever heard. Relationships fail. And when they do, we need to know why. And that means our part. Okay? We need to know why. And I get this a lot from victims of narcissists. You know, I did nothing wrong. It was all them that abused me. I get that. But if we don't figure out how that happened, right? Rather than it just, you know, a big house came and fell on you. If you don't figure that out, we don't fix it. Because you have to at least admit that it's a problem. I dated somebody who abused me for so long, and maybe more than one person, most likely, if you keep looking. And we've got to fix this. We've got to learn from this, okay? So moving on sounds great. That's the idea, right? But we take our time moving on. We understand and heal from it. We grieve. Okay, and we fix the things that we're suffering from, anxiety and depression. We don't go to another person and say, oh, this relationship fixed all my problems. There's something wrong then. That's already starting as dependency, meaning you didn't fix it yourself, you're dating somebody else, and that's fixing it, you think. And so that's called dependency. That means you depended on another person to do that for you, never learning to do that yourself. There's a lot to learn. So I just wanted to be clear with that. You said, I needed to hear your words, and I know you are right. After your video, I calmed down and knew without a doubt I am the one actually moving on. Great. Great. Not a question, but a great statement. Thank you for sharing that. And Istanbul Caesar Pedro. Love to know where you're from. Please tell us your locations, everybody. Thank you. What should you do when a psychopath manipulated you to admit something you never did? Stop talking to that psychopath and retract that you admitted it. Because I don't know what else to say. I asked you to be more elaborate, and you did. Thank you. So let's read what else you wrote here. I just realized when I was a kid, I took the fault for something I never really did. I was manipulated by a psychopath to believe I did something wrong when I didn't, alongside other stuff. And that caused a lot of problems between me and my mother. I have tried to explain this to my mother, but she doesn't understand herself being difficult. It caused a lot of consequences, and I'm really sorry. I'm awfully sorry for the relationship you have with your mother, and that you still have to carry this around. One of my biggest fears is being accused of things I didn't do. It's awful. It's awful. So this is about the relationship between you and your mother. Anybody out there, when you find yourself in this position, okay, and with somebody in your interpersonal life, whether it's your family or your friends, close ones, okay, and you get this feeling that they never understand you, never understand you, never understand you. You called it being, she's being difficult and stuff like this. Most likely, it's because you guys aren't emotionally connected. When we're emotionally connected, we truly understand each other, and we care to, we want to. We listen and we try to understand, okay? That feeling of following somebody around, trying to get them to understand you all the time, it's not working. If it's not working, we must accept this. We try hard, and we can even go to a professional, some kind of counselor together maybe. But if it's not working, at some point we must accept this. This is why you're probably involved with other people who aren't emotionally available to you. Because it sounds like maybe your mother is not. I'm not trying to say that's exactly the case. Typically that is, okay? So what do? You tried to explain, this is about getting your mom to understand, and you've tried, right? You've tried, write a letter, get somebody else to proofread it and help you with that, to help you make them understand, okay? Typically, as we heal from things that are traumatic, it's easier for us to explain it. A lot of you know, when you get out of these horrible traumatic relationships and you start trying to tell people what happened, and you start telling people about the other person and how bad they are and what they did to you, and people are understanding you, I promise, when you do heal from this, it's easier to explain and people can understand it better, typically, okay? So maybe your mom will understand as you heal from it, but if this is really bothering you, it may not just be that you try to get your mom to understand it. You may also need to understand it better and better yourself, and that's healing. But if your mom's not going to understand, she's not going to understand. If you value this relationship and you want her to understand, I would try again. And let's try really hard, right? Let's try to make sense of it ourselves, and maybe write it down, have somebody else read it to somebody else, things like this, okay? Get her to seek a counselor. You guys can go together, some type of relationship counseling, maybe. The counselor can help her understand. But at some point, we need to accept our mom for who she is. You don't have to accept anybody in your life or behaviors, but we've got to accept people for who they are, and your mom may just never understand, okay? So we don't have to have our mom's validation if we can't get it. We validate it ourselves. I recommend strongly to talk about this with somebody you trust, somebody that you pay for usually is the best, okay? A lot of times people in our lives can't understand everything that happened to us, especially trauma, especially maybe if we don't understand it. But a professional that does this for a living, hopefully, can understand and help you understand, okay? I'm sorry for your suffering. I'd really evaluate that relationship you have with your mother, all right? And focus on how you can make that better if that's important to you, all right? But at some point, try to accept people for who they are. Your mom may not be able to understand, okay? Thank you. Hi, David. Mario from Italy again. Hello, Mario. I was listening to the teachings of E. Tolle by an Italian guru named Caselli. The point he makes is that very few people need psychotherapy. While nearly everybody can transcend their ego by means of mindfulness and meditation. This is the real teaching of gurus since the times of Buddha. Do you think a narcissist could transcend her ego by means of meditating? While the scientific community states that narcissism is mostly untreatable, what do you think? Thanks as always for your precious support. Thank you, Mario. Thank you very much. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. I want to make that very, very clear. Just a life coach. I'll give you my opinion. I'm not going to suggest that everybody can heal from something and nobody can heal from something. I won't do that. That's not fair. We're all different, and I'm no professional person to be commenting on this much, but you asked me, Mario. So I think when you ask a professional in this field, what is the best way to heal a narcissist, right? They're going to say what they're doing is the best. Right? So you're going to have a psychotherapist saying, oh, absolutely, you need psychotherapy. And then you're going to have a guru, which I don't really know what that is. I mean, I know what that is, but guru seems more self-appointed, doesn't it? And he likes meditation, so he's going to say it cures all, cures everybody. And but your question, can a narcissist transcend their ego by means of mindfulness and meditation? I don't know, right? I'm not going to tell people in the world, no, you can't do that. And I'm not going to shut the door on anybody because of their mental illness, okay? I've seen lots of professionals who say they can heal narcissists. I don't know. I don't believe I'm educated quite enough, or I'm educated, but I don't think it's appropriate for me to say yes, no. What I will say is that psychotherapy is is a huge necessary thing for most people, I believe. Because you said if you're quoting him, that very few people need psychotherapy. And that is a very ignorant statement. If you're quoting him, you may not be totally quoting him, but if that's a quote he says, I wouldn't listen to anything else he says after that. Nothing. Because that's a bunch of BS. And how could you say that? There are millions of people who need psychotherapy and benefit from it. But one thing that everybody, almost everybody, will agree on, doctors, scientists, psychologists, psychotherapists, stuff like this, talk therapy, number one. Number one. There's different types of psychotherapy. 4. Okay, you got cognitive, dialectical, interpersonal, and family therapy. And it's absolutely necessary for a ton of people. Talk therapy, number one. Everything else, supplement. And I've said that forever. Meditation and mindfulness is great. I think it's great. Well, and it should go along with psychotherapy. But I don't think that's a fair statement. And I think it's ignorant, really, to sit there and say, not many people need that. You just need mindfulness and meditation. Okay, I've seen and known a lot of people that's not going to do it. It's just not going to save people. I mean, just look at psychotic people. How can you say that? There's millions of people in psychosis. Schizophrenics. Schizophrenics just need mindfulness and meditation? Nope. They need drugs and therapy. Big time. Big time. I don't like that. Just my opinion. Okay, Mario, thank you. I think that it should be treated as supplemental, meaning extra, added, to go along with. But it's not just that. If you go look at people who do eye rapid movement eye therapy, stuff like this, they'll say, oh yeah, it's great, it's wonderful, it cures all kinds of people. It's supplemental to go along with talk therapy, psychotherapy, okay? There's nothing else that can replace talk therapy. We are absolutely social creatures. And narcissism is a personality disorder, okay? This is their childhood development and then becoming who they are as an adult. And most of that is because of other people, how this child related to their family and parents growing up. There has to be more and more